name's Andrew. I'm going to deliver a chair yoga class, my version of a chair yoga class to you. If you're scared by the word yoga, just call this an exercise class based on a chair. Most of it sitting on the chair. There are a couple of movements behind the chair, using the chair for support and so on. Nothing too scary. It's suitable for everybody. Mine's aimed at the more mature people who come to my class, but it's suitable for anybody. If you don't want to get hot and sweaty doing your yoga, if you just want something meditative, just as a sort of the opposite of what you normally do in a very strenuous class, you may find that you enjoy this. Also, if you see it through to the end and also think about it, would it be relevant to somebody in your family or a friend? Please recommend it to them. I don't want anything, I just want to share time with you. I know this class works because I've been delivering it now over the last 3 years, which means twice a week. That's over 300 times I've delivered this class. It's evolved over the time that I've been doing it. I'm a qualified yoga teacher with the British School of Yoga, but also the people who come to my class, some of them have been coming for 3 years, and they've shared their experience with me of the class, and so I know what works for them, and I know over time and the number of times you repeat it, things just get better. So I know you'll enjoy the class. You just need a few things. What I've done is I've improvised. Normally I've got yoga sort of equipment, blocks, also got some squeezy balls and some proper resistance bands, but I'm going to improvise today. So we'll need a couple of squeezy balls. So what I've done is I've just made a couple of sock balls. So you just literally roll the first ball up as tight as you can, and then you tuck that one inside into another sock. You roll that one up, and so on and so forth. I've made these slightly too big for my hands because I wanted you just to see what I'm doing with my hands and fingers as I use these balls. That's what they're going to be used for. But make them to suit your hands. So ideally they will be a little bit smaller so that you can curl your fingers around. Okay, so that's the squishy balls. Also for a block, all I've done here is I've just wrapped a big book. This is for resting our foot on for exercises for the toes. So I've just wrapped a big book in a pillowcase so I don't leave my footprint on the cover of the book. So that's the block I'm going to put my foot on, just resting it on it. Resistance band, so you can either grab a pair of leggings or a pair of tights, and if you just use one leg at a time, you'll find that you've got stretch for the 2 resistance exercises that we're going to do. So if you're ready, if you're prepared, you just want to pause this if you haven't got that equipment. Just if you're nervous about the class at all, just watch it all the way through and just decide then whether it's going to suit you. It is slow. I'm not going to be taking the class very fast because it is a meditative exercise. This is how yoga works more deeply than just physical exercise. It's mental exercise, and it's a way of de-stressing. So thank you for joining me, and if you're ready, I'll be jumping on the chair. Okay, thanks. Hi, I'm Andrew. Welcome to my version of chair yoga. You're all very welcome. So I'm going to start just by calming you before the actual movements commence. So for doing this, we're just going to lift the hands, we're going to cover the ears, we're just going to ripple the fingers on the back of the neck, and if you're feeling safe, then just close the eyes, take 5 slow breaths as you take this rippling action with the fingers, just to calm before we begin. Just open the eyes, bring the arms back down, Just rest the hands gently on the lap there. We're just going to begin taking movement with the neck and the head. So as you breathe in, just take the gaze up towards the ceiling. And as you breathe out, just gently lowering the chin down towards the chest, without going too far. And as you breathe in, we're coming back up slowly, using the gaze to guide you. As you breathe out, just drawing the chin down towards the chest. As you breathe in, we'll bring the gaze up. And as you breathe out, we're just drawing the chin down towards the chest. As you breathe in, just bring the head back to neutral. As you breathe out, just turn to look out across one shoulder. Breathing in, coming back to the centre. And breathing out and going the other way. So just being aware that you're not hunching the shoulders as you take this movement. It's moving from side to side. Breathing into the centre. Breathing out. Breathing into the centre. Breathing out. The centre. Last time on this side. Breathing into the centre. As you breathe out, just tilt the ear towards the shoulder. Breathing into the centre. As you breathe out, tilt the other ear towards the shoulder. As you breathe into the centre. Just making sure again that you're not hunching the shoulder, particularly the shoulder that's opposite. Breathing in and breathing out and breathing in. Last time on this side. Breathing into the centre. Okay? And then we're just going to jut the chin forwards, keeping it parallel to the floor. Just going to tuck it back into the neck. We're just bringing the chin forwards. We're tucking it into the neck. Drawing forwards. And tucking it into the neck. Returning to neutral. And then if you just take one hand, put the index finger on the tip of your nose. Imagine that as the centre of a circle. You're now going to draw circles with the nose. So take the finger away and close the eyes and just begin to draw slow, small circles around that imaginary point in front of your nose. And if it's appropriate for you, then enlarge the size of the circles that you're making, but don't increase the speed of what you're doing. So just working your way around, seeing how your neck feels this time. And slowing it down, bring it back to the centre and pausing. So bring the other fingertip to the nose, the other hand. Take the finger away and then begin to draw the circles in the opposite direction. And please don't worry if you can't remember which direction you were going in. It hardly matters. And then just increase the size of the circles you're making with the eyes closed. Slowly. Bring your head back to the centre and just pausing there, opening the eyes. So we're just going to lower the arms gently to the side, and as you breathe in, we're just going to sweep them up the outside to the top, and as you breathe out, we're just going to bring the arms back down to the side of the body. So again, as you breathe in, we're coming up. As you breathe out, arms to the sides. As you breathe in, as you breathe out, arms to the side. And then we're going to lift the arms in front, sweep them down, lean forwards and let go of the breath in the bottom of the lungs. Get rid of the stale air, bottom of the lungs. So you can say whoosh as you do it. So as you breathe in, bring the arms slowly up. As you breathe out, lean forwards with a and breathing in. Take your time as you come up, nice big in-breath and another whoosh. And breathing in, coming up. And as you breathe out, last whoosh. Breathing in and just settling in that position. with the arms on the knees. We're just going to interlock the fingers. We'd like to do this. And then we're just going to be rubbing the palms, the base of the palms across each other. This is to stimulate the circulation in the hands and also to work the finger joints, to work the wrists. So just see how your hands feel today as you do this. Okay. And then just part the fingers and then one finger different, interlock the fingers again and begin rubbing the palms across each other and feel the boost to your circulation, warming the hands, and feel the challenge into the fingers and the wrists as you do this exercise. And release. Just lower the arms to the side again. We're just going to shrug the shoulders and let go with a sigh. So as you breathe in, ears up towards, shoulders up towards ears and let go. And again, as you breathe in and let go. Last time, breathing in and letting go. And then we're just going to reach for one of the balls that you've got. And we're just going to interlock the fingers again. And we're just going to take the ball so that it's in between the palms of the hands. And so as you breathe in, squeeze the ball between the palms. As you breathe out, just gently release. So breathing in, slowly feel the squeeze, feel the tension. And as you breathe out, just slowly, slowly control in both directions. And again, as you breathe in to squeeze the ball, as you breathe out, you release the ball. I've forgotten, I've lost count, I'm trying to do 3, so I'm squeezing it again. And as you breathe out and release. And then we want one squishy ball in each hand. And so this one's for the fingers. So we're going to start, we're just resting the back of the hands or the legs. So we're just going to start with the thumbs of both hands, and as you breathe in, squeeze thumbs of both hands. As you breathe out, slowly release. And again, as you breathe in, index fingers, both hands, slowly release. The middle fingers, and slowly release. The ring fingers, release. And the little fingers, and slowly release. Don't worry if 2 fingers join in at the same time on each hand. We're going to work our way back up again, so we'll start with the little fingers this time. As you breathe in, squeezing with the little fingers. As you breathe out, release. As you breathe in, the ring fingers, both hands, release. Breathing in for the middle fingers, release. Breathing in with the index fingers and slowly release. And finally, the thumbs, both hands, squeezing on the in breath and on the out breath, just slowly release. Okay? Just putting the balls to one side now. And so we're just going to begin to work the arms and the shoulders. And so we're just going to bring the arms to the side of the body. They're just soft, the fingers are soft, the arms are soft here. And we're just going to create tension up through the arms, just the arms. So as you breathe in, curl the fingers of both hands into fists. Squeeze the fists on this in-breath. Feel the tension rising up through the arm to the top. And as you breathe out, gradually let go of the tension down through the arm and release the fingers. And so as you breathe in, squeezing both hands simultaneously. And as you breathe out, just slowly release. One more time, as you breathe in and squeeze. As you breathe out, just slowly release. Give the fingers a little wiggle. We're just going to be pushing, we're going to be rotating, sorry. The hands are just to the side again, palms back, palms forwards, back hands forwards. And so as you breathe in, Rotate the palms forward, stretch towards the floor, spread the fingers. As you breathe out, rotate back. So as you breathe in, create that stretch, fanning of the fingers, and as you breathe out, slowly release. And again, as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, just slowly release. We're going to push backwards and squeeze the shoulder blades behind us. So we're just going to breathe in to prepare for this one. And as you breathe out, push backwards, feel the shoulders coming together behind you, the shoulder blades. As you breathe in, bring the arms to the original position. And breathing out, feel the squeeze. And breathing in. And just challenging yourself to see how high the arms will go without causing you too much discomfort. And breathing in, the arms are back to the centre. And then we're just going to extend the arms out to horizontal, no higher than the shoulders, or as high as is comfortable for you to lift your arms today. And then, as you breathe in, rotate the palms upwards, lift the gaze. As you breathe out, rotate the palms down, lowering the gaze. So you just feel this opening of the chest as you breathe in, and breathing out, using the gaze to guide the shape, breathing in, and breathing out. And then just give the wrists a little shake off at this point, and then we're just going to interlock the fingers. We're just going to bring them underneath the chin here. Elbows are just level with the underneath of the chin. And so as you breathe in, we're lifting elbows up. Feel the squeeze in the finger joints again. And as you breathe out, bring the elbows close to each other. So as you breathe in, elbows winging out, breathing out. And one more time as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, elbows are back to the side. So just keep the fingers interlocked, bring the hands to the centre of the chest. So we're just going to extend the arms away and reverse the palms. So you're pushing away, again, working to the finger joints, bring the hand back to the chest. So we're extending away, pushing, bring the hands back to the chest. And again, we're extending, and we're bringing the hands back to the chest. And we're just going to do a movement now which involves swinging one arm around and twisting to that side. So if you just come forward slightly on the chair, just wriggle the toes so that the feet are still nicely below the knees. You're not at a strange angle there with the ankles. And so just dropping one hand to the side. As you breathe in, see this hand rise. Watch it as it sweeps over. See it then coming behind you, back to the side of the body, with the same arm in the same direction, an in-breath, carrying it up and over, and an out-breath, it comes back to the side of the body. Last time in this direction, breathing in, and breathing out to the side of the body, just pausing there, once in reverse, breathing in behind, coming over, breathing out. The arm comes back to the side of the body, switching to the other side, and so connect the gaze, it will help with the move. As you breathe in, coming up and over, breathing out, rotating back to the side of the body as you breathe in, and out, and as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, and then once in reverse, so we see it go behind, coming up and over, and out to the side of the body. So we're just going to do some shoulder rotation movement. The rotation is, in a sense, this bit rotates around with the movement, but you can think of it more as the shoulder blades squeezing behind or the ends coming towards each other in front. So I've just come forward on the chair slightly for this one, and so with the hands just loosely on the legs, or you can just have the hands floating. As you breathe in, draw the shoulders towards each other, carry them up over the top. As you breathe out, squeeze behind, shoulder blades coming down, same direction, breathing in, coming up and over, breathing out behind, and again in front, and up and over and down. We'll go in reverse. So backwards this time, up on the in-breath, over the top, out-breath coming down, in-breath, out-breath, one more time, up and over, and relaxing in that position. We're just going to do a cat stretch. So this will be an arch of the back, you don't need to lean forward. So just from the side, it'll look something like this. What we'll be doing is tucking the chin, arching the back, holding the front of the abdomen. So you can see a curve in your spine, in my spine at least. And then breathing in, use the gaze again to guide you upwards. So just coming forward slightly on the chair for this. And again, feet are just underneath the knees, nothing strange going on. And so, eye level. Breathing in to prepare. And as you breathe out, chin tucked, arching the back, holding the front of the abdomen without leaning forwards. And then breathing in, use the gaze to guide you, coming up. And breathing out, again, creating this cat arch. Breathing in, straightening into this position. We're breathing out, breathing in. And that's it, we're done with the cat stretch. And so we're just going to do a simple twist whilst we're in this position. So take the opposite hand to the knee, bring the other hand to the side of the hip there for a moment. And then lean forward onto this forearm, look in this side direction. We're going to breathe in, raise the elbow first, and then straighten the arm. Then we're going to breathe out, we're going to bend the arm and rotate back to the centre. Going the other way, opposite hand to knee, leaning forward into it, looking this way now. Raise the elbow, in breath, straighten the arm, out breath, bend the arm, bring the hand back down to the centre. So make sure you're tall, symmetrical in the centre between the two sides. So I'm going to go one more time on the original side, leaning there, elbow, arm get straightened, bend the arm, rotate back to the centre, and then for the last time on this side, leaning forward into it, raise the elbow, straighten the arm on this side, and then bend the arm and find yourself nice and tall. We're back in the centre. Just going to slide backwards into the chair to make sure that my legs are supported. We're going to be raising the arms and legs. This could be the fun bit. So we're just going to be raising arm on opposite leg, if you can just get your head around that. So it's arm, opposite leg, and breathing out to come down, and then swapping to the other side. So don't worry if it goes wrong, it very often does go wrong, we won't worry about that. So we're just going to breathe in, raising arm, opposite leg, breathing out, we're coming down, breathing in, we've swapped, and breathing out, and again, breathing in, breathing out, and for the last time on each side, as you breathe in, as you breathe out, and breathing in, and breathing out. Less taxing on the brain, we do them at the same time. So, as you breathe in, both arms, both legs, as you breathe out, and breathing in, and breathing out, and breathing in, and breathing out. Just make sure you're still tucked on the chair. So we're going to do it from a crossed ankle hug position, and on the third one of these you may want to shout out joy and optimism. It's just something that we do spontaneously in my regular Monday class. And so we're crossing the ankles, we're crossing the arms as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, change the cross if you can remember, don't worry if you can't. Breathing in and breathing out, and here we go. Joy and optimism, and then we're coming down, and then we release. Okay. And then we're going to do a kind of version of the sun salutation that you would do in a normal class. just come slightly forward on the chair again. I'm just going to bring my hands into prayer position, centre of chest. So I'm going to go through this slowly. So we're breathing in to prepare for this one. And as you breathe out, the start of the sequence, arms to the side. As you breathe in, sweep up the outside to the top. And then as you breathe out, lean forward, reaching down towards the toes. Breathing in, come halfway up to the knees. Breathing out, reaching down to the toes. And then as you breathe in, raise the elbow on one side, doesn't matter which side. Straighten the arm on that side. Breathing out, bend the arm, bring the fingers back down to the toes. Breathing in the other side, the elbow goes up, the arm gets straightened. As you breathe out, bend the arm, bring the fingers back down to the toes. As you breathe in, sweep the arms up the outside to the top, lift the gaze. As you breathe out, just simply drawing the hands down through to the heart centre. And we'll do the sequence one more time. So, slowly again, don't worry. So, we're breathing in to prepare. As you breathe out, arms to the sides. Breathing in, sweeping them up, lift the gaze. As you breathe out, lean forward, reach down to the toes. As you breathe in, come halfway up to the knees. And as you breathe out, going back down to the toes. As you breathe in, raise the elbow on one side and straighten the arm on that side. As you breathe out, bend the arm, bring the fingers back down to the toes. Going the other way, in breath, elbow goes up, arm gets straightened, arm gets bent, bring the fingers back down to the toes. Big in breath as you sweep the arms up to the outside to the top. And as you breathe out, we're just bringing the hands down through to the heart centre. Excellent. Okay, we're just going to do something for the toes and the ankles and also for the wrists. So it's a little sort of medley of movements. So if you like to sit back on your chair and reach for your block, so it could just be a book that you've wrapped in a pillowcase so you don't leave your footprint on it. And so just arrange it so that it's available to one foot. Place the foot on the block so that the toes protrude over the front edge. So I've just got enough room for the toes to protrude. And so we're just going to curl the toes down into a tight scrunch shape. And then we're going to lift and spread the toes at the same time. So taking them down into that scrunch shape, lifting, spreading the toes, and then the toes go back to neutral. So we're going to reach forward and wrap the fingers around the front of the toes now to support that scrunch shape initially. So just reach forward, wrap the fingers around the front of the toes, curl the toes under into that scrunch shape, and if you can sort of let go with the toes, use the fingers to squeeze the scrunch. You might get a tighter squeeze there. And then we're going to use the fingers as a hook. So all the fingers hook all the toes simultaneously, create a stretch under the toes, working deeper into the arch of the foot. So release, take them down again into that scrunch shape, and then using them as a big hook, lift all the toes, feel the stretch deep into the underneath. And then just allow the toes to go back to neutral. Just coming up for a moment, if the breast feels compromised, just taking a breath there to recover. Just going to switch to the other foot. Again, toes protruding over the front edge there. And then, first of all, just admiring your toes from a distance, we're just going to squeeze the toes down into that scrunch, and then lift and spread the toes. So it's that scrunch shape, lift and spread the toes. Toes are back to neutral, and then either hand, doesn't matter, wrap the fingers around the front of the toe, take them down into that overpowered scrunch, And then, using all the fingers simultaneously, lift all the toes, stretch the underneath of the toes deep into the arch of the foot, and then taking them down again, one more scrunch there, and then hooking them, lifting them upwards, allow them just to return to neutral. Just leave the block in the middle for the moment. We're just going to do a wrist exercise before we go back to the toes. So just going to raise the arms, they're about 45 degrees, and don't squeeze, there's no need to squeeze your chest, the arms are just loose here. The arms are at 45 degrees, my fingers are just loosely open, and so we're just going to develop opening petals here. So we're just going to tilt the hands towards us and then spread the fingers, soften them through the middle, and again spread the fingers. So it's just the wrists and the fingers. And if you can't watch them simultaneously, just watch them one at a time. See how the fingers, the petals, develop in each hand. Okay, this is for the wrists, the fingers. Okay. And then release. Okay, we're going back down to the toes. So back to the first foot. Again, toes are protruding over the front edge, so we're going to manipulate the toes individually. So, thumb and index finger, we create a sort of a pinch with the thumb and index finger. So we're going to reach down and hold the big toe, thumb on top, index finger underneath, and then move the front half of the toe about the joint, one joint in the middle of the big toe there. So we're moving that part of the toe to start with, and then move to the base of the big toe, push into the base there, create movements with the connection to the front of the foot. Same toe, halfway up, pinching it, move it deliberately from side to side in this position. And then keep the pinch and pluck it away from the foot. We're just slightly opening out the joint sockets there. And then the other toes, they've got two joints each in them. So reaching for the second toe, start at the nail end and manipulate the toe around that first joint. So up and down and that joint. And then moving 2/3 of the way down the toe, find that second joint and move and then to the base of the toe, push into that connection with the thumb to feel movement in front of the foot there, halfway up to move the second toe from side to side, and then keeping hold of the toe, plucking it away from the foot to open out the joint sockets. So, you know how it works now, so we're just reaching for the middle toe, again starting near the tip of the toe, finding movement into the first joint there, moving down the toe, finding movement there to the second joint, and to the base of the toe, pushing with the thumb into that connection, halfway up, side to side, and then plucking it away from the foot, opening out the joints. So, fourth toe, in your own time, starting at the tip, same technique, gradually working your way down the toe, and then working your way up again, before finally landing on the little toe. And with the little toe, just because it may be smaller than the other toes doesn't mean it doesn't deserve as much treatment, so it may even need more treatment. So take your time with the little toe, don't feel rushed. This is quite a meditative practice, this. Your toes will thank you for it over time. And then we're ready to move on to the other foot. So when you come up, just give yourself time to have a couple of recovery breaths there because the chest can feel compromised. So we're going to work across to the other foot, toes protruding, thumb and index finger, we're reaching down to the big toe. We're going to find that joint in the middle of the big toe. We're moving the front part of the toe to start with, and then moving to the base of the toe, pushing into the connection there, and then halfway up the toe, side to side. We're keeping hold of the toe with this pinch and plucking the toe away from the foot, and then eventually we're moving to the second toe. So these are the toes with the extra joints, so find the first joint, second toe, find the second joint, move to the base of the toe, and then halfway up the toe, side to side, keeping hold of the toe to pluck it away from the foot there. And so to the middle toe. Use the same technique, so off we go. You know how it works. Starting from the tip, working towards the base, and then gradually working your way out again. Fourth toe when you're ready. And eventually landing on the little toe and remembering not to rush the little toe or any of the toes. Okay, that's excellent. So just place the block to one side, you won't need the block. And so we're just going to do another wrist exercise. For this one, you just, again, arms 45 degrees, elbows away from the sides of the body there. Fingers are closed, so the fingers are closed here. We're just going to tilt the hand towards us and then develop it as it tilts away. So maybe I'll just step sideways on the chair there. So you see the hands there in front of you, fingers closed, and then you're just going to tilt the hand towards you with closed fingers and then tilt it away, sort of chopping action, spreading, widening the fingers, and then tilt the hands towards you. So again, just make sure that you don't start squeezing the sides of the chest with the elbows. This is just for the fingers and the wrists. So just see that action going on in front of you. Let's come back to the centre of the chair. Final time, and then just release the hands. We just want to work the ankle joint by rotating the foot around it. So either extend the leg or support the leg, either leg to start, and then begin to make these circular movements with the foot around the ankle joint. Don't worry about the clicks. And if the toes want to join in, that's fine. And try to think of maybe the bottom of the foot not being flat once you get into this movement. The bottom of the foot creates angles relative to the floor. It's not flat. This will help us work when we're walking on uneven ground. This extra flexibility in the joint. Pause and begin to make those circles in the other direction. Don't go too fast. Try and feel a smooth circle. Don't be alarmed if there are flat parts to the circle. Just exploring how this ankle is working for you today. And so, we're going to raise the other one. And again, just deliberately working it around, foot around to exercise the ankle joints. The other point is that we haven't got the full body weight bearing down on the ankle joint for this one. So it's opening slightly. I like to think of the joint sockets opening slightly without the weight of our body is bearing down on it, so we're giving it a degree of freedom and change direction. Again, trying to make it smooth, but don't be alarmed if it isn't. Let the toes join in if they want to. Okay. And that's fine. And release. We just settle for a moment. Okay, so we're just going to be standing up from the chair and standing behind the chair for support. So if you'd like to make your way around there to join me. So we're just coming round to the back of the chair. Don't be too close to the chair, don't be too far away from the chair. It just wants to be within comfortable reach here. I'll just show you the movement. I'm going to come back to the front of the chair for a moment just to show you the movement. First movement, we're just going to be coming up onto the toes, bending one leg, straightening the other, onto the toes, bending the other leg, straightening the other, and coming up and coming down. Clicks from the ankle there. I'll just turn sideways, so in case you couldn't see the separation of the legs there. So we're coming up onto the toes, bend one leg, have the other one straight, and we're changing from side to side. So you're behind the chair, comfortable distance there, it's just there to help support us. So we're coming up onto the toes, we're coming down on one foot, bending the other knee, then we're rising up and changing sides. So just coming up and down in your own time, and if you don't like hesitating at the top or the bottom, then just keep the movement going, don't go too fast. So you can feel it through the toes, you know we're exercising the toes. The ankles, we warmed up both before, we're working the knees as well. Okay. One more time, each leg, and then just coming down to flat feet. So, feet hip distance apart, you stay there, I'll just show you the movements for this next one. So for this next one, what we're going to do is we come up onto the front of both feet, we come down to flat feet, bringing the weight slightly back towards the heel, lift and spread the toes, put the toes back down and repeat. And so, feet hip distance apart, we're rising onto the toes, both feet, flat feet, weight back towards the heel, lift and spread toes, coming forwards again, coming down, lift and spread toes, toes plant, coming up, coming down to flat feet, lift, spread toes, toes are just flat. We're going to do a step backwards from the chair, so I'll just demonstrate for you. So what it is, you're just standing behind the chair, again, feet are hip distance apart, you step back with one leg, don't go mad the first time, that leg will be straight, perhaps it'll be better if I show you this way, that leg will be straight, this leg will be bent, heel goes down towards the floor, knee tracks the foot, I can still just see the front of my toes, and I'll step up and so. It's just a short step, make sure the shape's right, feel the stretch through the back of the leg there, this dip into the front knee, tracking the foot, still see the toes there, and stepping up, and then change to the other side, not too much length the first time, just so you get the shape right with this, and then we're coming up. So if you do want to take it a little bit deeper for the second stretch, be aware that if you do take the leg further back and dip, if you're upright, you've got this back arch going on here. So if that causes you any discomfort, if you lean over the chair, you may not get the discomfort. And so you're just taking the foot back a bit further, don't go mad, dipping a little deeper into the front knee, either lean over the chair or we're just in this back arch position, stepping up, changing to the other side. Okay. And then for the third repeat, you just decide what's appropriate for you today, how the body feels, but keeping the good form that we created by analysing the shape at the start of the movement. Okay. And just stepping forward to the chair. Nice simple movement, the next one. So we're just going to stand to the chair. It's just diagonally opposite to me. I can just reach out and touch the chair there. And so, I don't have to stretch for it, in other words, it's just there, comfortable. So we're going to take the feet into a tandem action. They're going to be on the same train track there. So, the leg that's nearest to the chair, lift and spread the toes. Put the toes back down, feel the kneecap drawing upwards, just create a bit of tension in the leg. Be aware this leg's going to take all the weight for a fraction of time. And so, we're going to bring the outside leg round and bring the heel down in contact with the toes of the back foot. If the hip feels compromised with this, just have it so that the heel is level with the front toes. Don't go tight. But if you can, they're on the same train track, both feet pointing in the same direction. And then bring your body weight forwards and feel it through the soles of both feet. Feel the connection through both feet. Feel the connection through both legs. Being aware you're on top of this sort of very narrow triangle created by the legs. You're on the top, the middle of this, you're still facing forwards. You don't want to be twisted by that front leg bringing you around. Find a spot to stare at on the floor, sort of find a line. So we can either just take it as a balance in this position, and again you can add challenges with your arms, etc. Or if you want to, we can just take a couple of steps with it. Take it slowly. So we'll just bring the body weight forward over the front foot. It's a balance exercise. Release the back foot and bring it in front of the front foot. And then just taking it backwards. Maybe easier going backwards. Whoops, not for me today. And then we're just going to release. So we take that balance to the other side of the chair. Again, easy diagonal reach there. Foot nearest chair, lift and spread toes. Toes go back down. Draw the kneecap up, feel strong in this leg, and then swing the outside leg around. Bring the heel in contact with the toes, or level with the same line as the toes. And then bring the body weight over the two legs. Feel the connection to the floor through both feet. Strong in both legs. Either hang around there and play with the balance if you want to, or if you want to try one or two steps, slowly find a line, find a spot to stare at, and see how it is as you develop. But think of the weight coming through. Don't just sort of lean forward, there's no need to lean forward, you're just bringing the weight through. And then we're just taking it back, to wherever it was we started. And release. Okay, so last movement, we're just going to be lifting the leg, hinging it open and bringing it down. So for this one, start with the feet together behind the chair. Again, it's within easy reach there. So have enough room so that when you raise the leg, there's enough room for the knee behind the back of the chair there. So we're just going to raise one leg and then hinge it open. And then hinge it back, bring the foot back down in contact. We'll stick with the same leg, and so it's this lifting, this raising, this opening and closing, and back down. And for the third time, with this first leg, and coming back down, switching to the other side. First it's the raise, then it's the opening, hinging back and down. This raising, opening, hinging and down. And the third, if I haven't lost count. And coming back down. Okay, and then we're coming back down to sit on the chair. So just make your way round to the chair again, and we're just going to make sure that we're settled on the chair before we move on. And we're just going to begin some more seated movements. So just come forward slightly on the chair. Got a nice twisting action here, which involves the whole body. So if you come forward on this chair, again, just make sure that your ankles are directly under your knees, so that the legs are in a comfortable arrangement there. Just bringing the arms up again to this kind of 45-degree angle. We're just making little fists, not tight fists, we're just making fists. And then for this one, it's a twisting action. So in slow motion, it goes something like this. So I twist, raise the elbow, come through the centre, I twist. So you can think of the degree of twist that you want to take with this. I wouldn't go too fast with it. You can think about the amount that the front arm goes through, wrapping round you, going higher perhaps, reinforcing the twist so the body is in synergy with itself as it does that, it's not fighting itself. The back elbow may go through higher. It's a beautiful movement. If you go too fast, you could make yourself dizzy, so that's why I suggest not going fast. Also giving yourself time to adjust, because if you think about the shoulders, they're travelling around towards 180 degrees, which is pretty impressive. So that's travelling all the way up through the spine, from the base to the back of the neck as you turn the head to reinforce the shape. And if you just look at your knees for a moment, it's quite amusing because they're just moving like little pistons there. You can feel the big toes perhaps touching the floor, so then you become aware that this movement, so simple and yet so deep, deeply involving so much of the body. Okay, we're just coming back to the centre, slow down in case you've gained momentum there, sitting into the chair. So we're just going to take our resistance band or a pair of tights or a pair of leggings. So if it is tights or leggings, use one leg, don't use two legs because the tension will perhaps be too strong. So for this one, start with the knees together, start with the ankles together, come forwards on the chair. We're just going to wrap the knees so that goes into the back of the knee joint. We're going to get hold of this band on either side of the knees, and then we wriggle the feet so that they're about seat width apart there, and then keep hold of the band. All we're going to do is just going to open the knees, creating work in the thighs. Okay, so as you breathe in, draw the knees apart, feel into that resistance, and as you breathe out, slowly control the return journey there. So as you breathe in, creating, working into that stretch, and breathing out to release. One more time as you breathe in, feel the effort, as you breathe out, release. Just leave the knees together and then just wriggle the feet a couple of inches further apart. Just takes the work higher up in the inner thighs, and so as you breathe in, feel the stretch, feel it working higher now. As you breathe out, so release, and again as you breathe in, as you breathe out. Last time, as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, knees coming back. So just release the band. We'll be using it again before the end of the class. So just place it to one side, and then we're going to be moving sideways on the chair. So I'll just talk you into this one. There is a danger that you'll just tip off the chair at the front, so if you'd like to, just pay attention to the safety as we take position. And so we'll turn sideways on the chair if you'd like to join me. So sideways on the chair, first thing you do is take your hand to the back of the chair to make sure you don't fall off the front, because we're going to work to sit on the single sit bone here. So one sit bone is on the chair, front middle of chair. The other sit bone is off the chair, just off the front of the chair. You start with the knees both pointing in the same direction. You can stick like this if you want, or the front knee, you bring it down so the knee is going directly towards the floor, either with the top of the foot flat or with the toes tucked under, whichever you prefer. And now deliberately look in this new direction, so sideways direction here. We're just going to raise the arm in front of us, so sit tall in this. So as you breathe in, just raise the arm in front, and as you breathe out, raise the arm, draw the arm back to the side. Breathing in, it's coming up. Perhaps lifting the gaze, breathing out and coming down. And one last time, as you breathe in, as you breathe out, the arm comes back to the side of the body. So we're going to stay in the same seated position. We're just going to swing the arm differently and create a stretch down the side of the body here. And so, arm by the side, looking in that direction, sweep the arm out, up, over the top, and then lean towards the back of the chair. Reach back up, stay tall here. This is the dangerous bit. If you start leaning away from the chair, you might fall off it. So stay tall, lower the arm to the side of the body. So as you breathe in, up and over, feel that stretch. Reach back up, breathing out, stay tall. Third time, breathing in, you're coming up, leaning towards the chair, and then bring the arm back to the side of the body. We're going to change sides safely, slowly, so bring the leg up first, and then shuffle your way round to the other side. Again, hold the back of the chair, knees start in the same direction, one sit bone's on the chair, the other sit bone's just off the front of the chair, looking in this direction. Knee goes down if appropriate, flatter foot, toes tucked under, tall. As you breathe in, arm in front. As you breathe out, arm to the side. So as you breathe in, perhaps with the gaze, as you breathe out, and again, as you breathe in, and as you breathe out. I've lost count, this may be the fourth, I hope it's the third, but never mind. And breathing out to the side, staying in that same position. This time, arm goes out, up, over, lean towards the chair, feel the stretch, reach back up, stay tall for safety, bring the arm to the side of the body, so it's the in-breath and the out-breath, the in-breath and the out-breath. Again, I've lost count, never mind. Third or fourth time, and the out-breath. Arm comes back to the side of the body. Bring the leg up, make your way round to the front of the chair. Okay. Sitting deeply into the chair, we need support, particularly for the top of the legs here. We're reaching again for our stretchy object, whatever it is. So I'm just using a pair of leggings here. And so, for this one, you want to take the stretchy material, the middle of it, underneath the middle of the foot, or maybe towards the ball of the foot even. Just check that you're sitting deeply into the chair. So we're just going to bring the leg up, and then it's level with the chair. We're going to reel it in, knee upwards, ankle towards the front of the chair, and then extend it, pausing there. Just push through the ankle, have the toes pointing towards you. Again, bending it, supporting it in. Once you've got the length, this time maybe a little elevation of the straightened leg, flattening it before you reel it in. And the final time with this leg, find the length, maybe the lift, and then reel it in and release. Take your time to change to the other leg, and so taking it into a position comfortable for you. Sit deep into the chair, extend the leg out in front of you, and then knee upwards, ankle towards the chair, extend, pause there, push through the heel, toes tilted towards you, release in. This time, once you've found the length, maybe a little lift, release in. And for the last time, find the length, maybe the lift, and then release. Okay, just place your band, whatever you were using, to one side. We're just going to sit deeply into the chair again. For this one, this is the last movement. It involves the arms. So we'll just take it nice and slowly. This is your eventual, your release towards the end. So just bring the arms hanging by the side of the body. Feel that hanging so that the shoulders are deliberately dropped. And so as you slowly breathe in, raise the arms, keep them open like this. Lift the gaze with the arms, make it as slow as you like. And as you breathe out, just bringing the gaze down, don't lean forwards, just lower the arms to the side of the body. And again, this is the in-breath. And then this is the out-breath. And breathing in. And breathing out. And bring the arms to the side of the body. We're just going to relax at the end here. You might want to listen to a piece of music. You might want to just sit quietly. We can have a little breathing meditation if you like at the end here. So if you'd like to join me in that, that's fine. If you just want to do nothing, that's also fine. And so I'm just going to check that I'm comfortably sitting on the chair at the end here. So I'm deep into the chair. I can feel the support of the back of the chair. I'm just going to raise one foot. I just notice that it just moves a little bit. Put the foot back down so the ankle's directly underneath the knee. The other one, that also adjusts when I just let it go like this. So that's in a comfortable position there. I'm just going to do the same with the arm. I'm just going to lift the arm so that the weight drops, brings the shoulder down, and then just place the hands lightly on the leg. I'm just going to do the same with the other arm. Feel the weight of the arm just bringing the shoulder down there. And then I'm just bringing my hands onto the leg. So if you want to sit quietly, that's fine. If you want to join me in this little meditation, that's fine as well. So nothing too dramatic, nothing too scary. So we're comfortable, we're safe, we're warm, and we're amongst friends. So everything is fine. And so if you just like to close your eyes, we're just going to connect with the breath and just create a little bit of a squeeze through the fingers. So you can do it either with the individual fingers, or you can combine it, combine the fingers in any way that you feel is appropriate. We can do it one hand at a time. We're just going to squeeze the thigh just very gently with the breath. That's all there is to it. We're just taking our mind a little bit deeper. Now we've exercised, now we've calmed. So if you'd like to begin with me, I'll just leave you to do your own thing after a while, but I'll just begin. I'm just going to work my way across from one side to the other. So as I breathe in, I'm going to just press my left little finger into the leg gently. And as I breathe out, I'm just going to release slowly. So as I breathe in, I'm going to press with the ring finger of my left hand and just release on the out breath. I'm going to squeeze with the middle finger left hand and release on the out breath. So it's hardly moving at all. We're just going to be pressing with the next finger, left hand, and release. And then eventually it'll be the thumb and press, in-breath, gentle in-breath, nothing dramatic. Out-breath, release. Move to the thumb of the right hand, squeeze. Out-breath to release. finger, right hand, release. Ring finger, right hand, and release. Little finger, right hand, and release. We'll work across from the left again. It's almost like we're just slowly reading the line of text, just pointing at the words. So in your own time, as you breathe in, press with the left finger, left hand, little finger, left hand, release. Ring finger, release. The middle finger, and just continue. So I'm just going to prepare gently to close our practice today. So if you're opening the eyes, do it slowly, just gradually letting the light feed back in. Don't be dazzled by the light. Just going to bring your hands into the prayer position, centre of the chest like this. And so I'd like to thank you for the honour of joining me. I feel privileged to have shared this with you. I hope you feel better as a result of this practice.